Okay, I might have just found a fabulous new song to add to my intros. It's literally called Snap and Clap. All right, my friends. So, some of you know my dance move is a snap and clap. What's your dance move? I'm just asking you. What do you think about this? Maybe not enough fast enough pace. Why don't you get on board with this? I asked someone the other day, like, what is your dance move? I'm just sharing. Like, what is that? What is that? What's that one move that you always kind of like? I always tell my friends, like, when I get the party started, it's like a snap, clap. All right, my friends, happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to all of you. And I hope you're having an extraordinary day. Funny story. Sunday night, laying in bed, and I was like, oh, let me take a peek at my day as I was doing out my daily intentions planner, and looked at the wrong day. So I looked at Tuesday for Monday, and so I thought yesterday was Tuesday, and obviously I was in such go mode for that, right? And so I'm just saying I'm a little off because today should technically be, in my world, Wednesday, and it's really Tuesday again. So I have it's like Groundhog's Day, 2 Tuesdays in a row. I don't know if anyone else has had that experience, but this mamacita has. Okay, so the number one mistake that I have made going and creating a bigger impact on online. I'm a little embarrassed to say this. Okay, so I'm just gonna say I'm gonna be super vulnerable in this moment. This it came out like in multiple conversations over the last couple of weeks, but really forefront today. So this message I think is important for all of us to hear. So if you're on, I encourage you right now, go share this out to your friends that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, wanna-be business owners, wanna-be entrepreneurs, wanna-be independents, wanna-be in the, network marketing. Seriously, okay? Because what I'm going to share with you is going to blow your mind, okay? And thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Ashley. Ashley, you know who you are. I'm just not going to call you out publicly here, but I'm just going to say thank you. And I heard you loud and clear, okay? So here's the number one mistake, okay? Seriously. The number one mistake that we make is that we are not showing up authentically online. And here's what happened. Here's what is going on. So I just hired a new media consultant, and she's an amazing rock star. I may have her on this show and interviewing her here shortly. I do want everyone to know that I am going to be actually doing 2 lives. And I'm saying this out loud now, okay? And the reason why I'm saying this out loud now is so that you can all keep me accountable for this reality, okay? So when my team came to me and said, do you need to do 2 lives a week? And I'm like, but we're going to do it, we can do hard stuff. No, I absolutely love it. I love being here with all of you. And I want to use this in a way to add more value to you. So we're in that second live, what we are going to be doing, which is super juicy, yummy, yummy, yummy. We're going to be actually interviewing some incredible people so I can bring them to you, some nuggets of knowledge. So if you have some things that you're really struggling with in your business primarily, but you know what, we can also go live too, okay? So I'm going to invite you to stick them in the comments, private message me, because I'm going to be opening up my Rolodex to all of you, okay? How yummy is that? And we're going to be bringing on some pretty great, actually just kidding, pretty extraordinary people that is going to be able to pour into you, your life, your business, and more, okay? So I'm just speaking that out loud. I better take a note. Lives twice a week now, okay? I'm speaking it, and now I got to hold myself accountable to it, okay? I'm just telling you. We will be picking the date. We are going to finalize that hopefully in the next week or two. or maybe 4 months. Just kidding. Just kidding. How long can I spread this out? No, we will making that notification so that you all know, so that again, there will be 2 different conversations. So guess what? You can see me twice in a week. How yummy is that? But I will be bringing on guests on the second one that we have. So look for that. We're going to be bringing on a sponsor, Jeffrey B. So if you've not checked out Jeffrey B's stuff, please do so. JeffreyB.com. Amazing, amazing man. Amazing, amazing impact that he's having. And I'm just going to I'm going to brag on him for just a second. So he is going to be one of the first African Americans in the world to be what he's doing in Africa now. I'm just saying that's pretty juicy in the world, people. Okay. Big stuff, big stuff. And I am so proud to be partnering with him and bringing about his message to the world through jewelry, through bling, and being able to ethically outsource diamonds in a really powerful way. So yummy, so yummy. And so go check us stuff out. It doesn't matter your budget. It could be $100 to $1 million. I'm just kidding. I don't know that he's done stuff like that big. Probably not, but it could be you. It could be you. His son works with the Broncos and designing stuff. So they're known in the community. So I love your support. If you drop in Terry, Teri, okay, I'm going to drop this in. So if you go to jeffreyb.com, okay, tell them I sent you, say, hey, from Terry. It was really weird. Okay, so jeffreyb.com. If you use Terry, okay, Teri, you will actually save 25%. No joke. No joke. That's how I'm working it for you folks. Okay. 25%. That's for Mother's Day. That's for graduations. Okay. That's like in 2 weeks, folks. Okay. Graduation gifts, all of it. 25% off. You use my name. I hook you up. Yes. Okay. Anywho. Hey, Jenny. Oh my gosh. I love it. Okay. You know what we should do? I should have, I'm just throwing this out there. I should have like interviews with my neighbors. I'm just saying, like, this is crazy. Okay, here we go. Back on the topic, the number one mistake we made. So meeting with my media consultant, and she's like, in the nicest way possible. She's like, Terry, you've been doing a lot of stuff. You're on, some of our videos have gone viral. Some of our reels have gone viral. Since January, since launching Talking with Terry, we are doing some incredible stuff. Just this month alone, we had 17,000 people watching our stuff on YouTube. Yay, right? So exciting. And here's the hard truth that I'm going to share with you all that was painful for me to hear today and last week when we were having these conversations. And she says, you know what, Terry, I don't see you online. And I'm like, what? Like, you have the back end, you have the analytics, you see me that I'm online, right? And she's like, no, your personality is not being shown online. And I'll be honest, I totally agree with her. And so I'm a little on the quirky side, right? And when we are doing Talking with Terry TV, it's, yes, for the behind the scenes, when like goofiness is shown more often, you see more of that. And I am trying to pull it back into the show. But let me just be real with you folks, okay? I got my swimmer's legs about 3 months ago, okay? And so I'm working into it. You're talking about a girl who came from a learning disability, who didn't want to communicate, who didn't want, right? And so I'm working and understanding this, okay? So I'm figuring this out. Anywho, she's like, your personality when I meet with you on phone is very different than I see you online. And that's not okay with me. That's not okay with my team. And so we're addressing this because I truly want people to see who I am, quirks and all, with all of it, right? Who I am when I show up, when I am, frustrated, when I'm upset, when I'm happy, when I'm joyful, when I'm goofy, when I'm all of it. Okay. And so, but here's the bigger message. And I think that when we go online, it's, I've made these mistakes, obviously. And there's this notion for us showing our perfect selves, us having the makeup, the filters, like whatever else is going on, right? And I think that we're so used to that piece of it. And thank goodness, okay, I'm telling you, this is the great news on all of this, okay, is that the world wants authenticity. The world wants more of us, right? They're done with the perfect images. They're done with all of this, right? And so, in all fairness, okay, I have about 300 videos sitting in my Dropbox. I'm not my Dropbox. Yeah, Dropbox, waiting to be discovered. And those are the videos that are in the moment. Okay. So we're just training my team on how to use those. So I'm unleashing the Terry. Okay. So I'm just saying, be forewarned. Okay. And so some of it is going to be goofy. Some of it's going to be silly. Some of it's going to be like, what? I mean, today you're going to be getting my inner thoughts, which sometimes my inner thoughts you're going to relate to, and sometimes you're not. Okay. I'm just saying, like, I'm just telling you, we're unleashing you, because here's the thing is that in all of this, when the message I got loud and clear is that they were missing me. And that's not a good sign. Okay. So when we are showing up in our life, in our business, online, right, we want to make sure that those elements of us are being seen and represented. Okay. Because I think that, what my life lesson has been in this journey of really finding the right team that's being kind and gentle and be like, here's what we need to do. Here's what we need to, create more of and introduce, is that we got to be seen and truly be seen for who we are, online and offline. And one of the things that when I was a speaker, just like I wasn't, I'm still a speaker. That was weird. Anyway, when there's been speakers over the years that I have followed, that I've interviewed, that I have connected with, and it's really interesting because and this was way back when, and I was like, you know what? I want to make sure that when I am speaking on a stage, when I come off the stage, I'm the same person. I'm just elevated on a stage, and then I'm not elevated on a stage, and I'm talking to people, right? Because so many times I saw people that were so different on stage. A couple of the people that I followed were such I would say like introverts, but they wouldn't talk to people and they wouldn't interact, and they were very serious off a stage versus on stage they were a little bit more lively. And I said, and I remember watching a couple of these speakers, and I go, when I get on the stage, I want to make sure who I am on stage is who I am off stage. And that has got to be really important for me. And so even today, I was working with my coach, and Dot Stinger is making his presence. Hello, Dr. Digger. Here we go. Say hello. He wants his moments. Okay. All right. Love you. So here's I got a facial. Here we go. So I was really clear on that was so important for me. And as I'm talking about this right now, and I'm kind of just thinking about this, is like, I want to make sure who I am online or who I am offline is represented online, right? And so it's almost kind of the reverse here, but that's been really true for me. And so I digress. So even with working with my coach today, I showed her some of the slides that I had for this new presentation that I'm doing for this corporate company. And I said, and I knew as soon as I flipped to this one slide is a little edgy. And I said, I don't care. I said, it's still safe. I'm not going to do anything inappropriate, but it's edgy for the audience, I'll say. And I just told her, I said, here's this. I'm not going to dim my light. I'm not going to show up someone that I'm not. This is who I am. This is what I'm going to talk about. This is me, right? And so I think it's so important. And as I'm tying those together, is like, whether I'm showing up this way on stage or off stage, is congruency, right? And same with us being online, that we're showing up in congruency of who that is, right? And so just recently, my daughter shared with me, I don't know if you're all on Be Real, okay? Literally BEREAL. It's the app called Be Real. I'm not making this stuff up, okay? So I joked with my daughter. I said, you know what? I was like, so how the app works is that sometime during the 24 hours, 24 hours during the day. And it's usually during, like let's say 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. The app will make a notification, like a little bing, whatever. And you have, so much time. Sometimes I've gone multiple hours, okay, or sometimes days, I'm just saying, about posting. So literally you take a picture, there's a front facing camera and a back facing camera, and you push, it makes a notification. And actually, you know what? In all fairness, I probably have one already that's sitting there. And if so, I'm doing this right now. Oh, look at this. Okay, so this shows me that I have not posted my stuff, okay? So we get to take a picture. So here we go, everyone. We're going to just post this. Okay, so there we go. I just posted us, everyone. Yay! You can't even see it. Sorry. You just have to go check on B-roll. Okay, so then you send. Okay, so now when I post my stuff, now I have access to everybody else who I'm friends with, which I'll be honest, I'm friends with all teenagers right now. Nobody my age is on here. Nobody in my profession's on here. So, but it was so sweet. And I told my daughter, I was like, I don't need to be on B-roll because she's a part of the softball team. Every one of her, like not everyone, most of the moms that are on their girls are on this app. So I'm like, you know what? I have like at least 9 moms keeping an eye on my daughter. Okay. So I'm like, I don't need to be on the app. And so then the other day she comes up, she's like, Mom, I really want you to be on this app with me. And I said, you know what? I don't think she's going to necessarily invite me to all these social, these apps that she can be on. But she's not going to probably do this very much longer. So I'm going to just join, right? And just, play along with her. So it's become this really fun thing that we do together, right? But anywho, and I was joking with her. I'm like, oh my goodness. So thank goodness. Like, whew, I only have to be real for like 1 second a day. I mean, right? Like, whew, just be real, right? But what I love about this app, they're not paying me. I'm not getting a kickback in this sign. But what I love about this app is that it's mostly for these tweens, teenagers, maybe young adults. Now there are some adults on there. But what I have found is that I just think it's so great that we are teaching kids to be real. And you look at these apps, there's no filters, there's no prepping, there's no prepping. And people love to be the first one to post because then it like that starts this cascade of stuff, right? And so there's no like putting your makeup on, and I love the message. Okay, I love the message that we're sending. And so what a great app for if you have tweens or teens and that are, really the message is powerful, right? Now I'm sure there's other people that, are not necessarily being real, but but I love it. I love it, love it. But I think that that's so important for us to, as adults or as folks that are in the business world, the entrepreneurial world, is how do we show up and be more real? Now, in all fairness, okay, Mary, if you're on here, I'm just going to say, the other day, just a couple of days ago, she's like, Terry, I have this idea. I had this crazy idea. Why don't we do a video with you with no makeup? And I said, Mary, no. And now I'm teasing, but we'll find the creative way to do that, right? But I think it's important to be able to just simply show up. And the gift to all of this is that the pressure that we used to put on ourselves to be perfect, right? I remember back in the day when I first started getting on videos, like no joke, this is how it rolled, okay? Me, learning disability, terrified of speaking, blah, 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 has to have everything perfect. Like, no joke, I would take 792 takes for a 1-minute video. And then I'd be like, okay. And I had to have every word right. I had to have everything. And I wasn't using a script. So that's honestly, it took me 700 times to get a minute video done. And there was so much pressure. There was so much angst about it. And then I would post it, and then I would get up enough courage to go back and do it again the next day. And it would take me only like the next day would be like 682 times, right? And then the next day it was like 650 times, right? Like I'm really not exaggerating. And for anyone of you that have been doing those videos, you know how hard we can be on ourselves. And then it just, you know, it got better and better and better. And then it took me forever. I think some of you have heard that when I first doing Facebook Lives, I think it's been probably 6 years. I have to kind of go, I'm sure there's some way on Facebook to go back and look at when you started your Facebook Reels. There's some analytics somewhere, somehow. But I bet you anything, it's been probably 6, if not 7 years, okay, of doing Facebook Lives. And so what would happen is I would freak out. I would freak out. Oh my gosh, Tuesday, today's Tuesday. And then I would hop off of Facebook Live. And then I would say, oh my gosh, you know what? In 7 more days, it's going to be Tuesday again. And I would be like, freak out. And then Tuesday again, right? And there was such this pressure to be perfect, such this pressure to have it all figured out, and so the beautiful thing is that pressure is going away, thank goodness. And so if you're a content creator and if you're doing stuff on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube's, Twitter, Rumble, like I can keep going on, right? The neat thing about this is where we are evolving to is one is of a place of acceptance of who we are, and more people are wanting and needing and requiring and asking and demanding authenticity online and offline. And so thank goodness. Whew, good news, right? Good news, folks. So my real tip here is that I'm going to invite you to be real, and whatever that real looks like for you, because I think that's going to be different for all of us. And how do I show up authentic? How do I show up and, you know, willing? I don't know why I'm taking my jewelry off. I'm like, all of a sudden, I don't want my jewelry off. I'm I call it this de-jewelerizing process. So, but it's really up to us to be in a place of, one is accepting of ourselves. And that's the deeper work, right? That's the deeper inner work that we've got to do, because I'll be honest, I hid behind perfectionism for many, many years, maybe decades, probably decades, for sure decades. And then I hid behind, you know, nobody can ever know that I'm not perfect, right? And so those are some big, heavy ones, right? And so all of us have stuff. All of us have beliefs. All of us have, you know, challenges, concerns. I mean, we're human. We have a pulse. There's going to be something for us, right? There is some life lesson, some life path, some universal truth that we are being exposed to. There's something that has been put on our path to create the path of our impact. And whatever that impact is for you, maybe that's just being, you know, a great employee. Maybe that's being a great, you know, tenant. Maybe that's just being a great mom, a great daughter, a great educator, a great, you know, professor, a great, like whatever it is for you, a great business owner, a great entrepreneur, a great, you know, movement maker, right? Whatever that is for you. But we've been on these paths, and I think it's as we are evolving into this message, it's pretty stinking profound about how we get to show up to have the biggest impact. And the biggest impact that I have found is that we've got to be real, we've got to be authentic, and that is where people are going to connect with us on and connect with who we are as human beings. That we're not perfect, we don't have it all figured out. And it's dropping the layers, dropping the programming that we were living by that's no longer serving us. And that, my friends, is a really powerful place to be in. It is a powerful presence to recognize and own and step into. So give yourself a break. If you are making those 792 videos, stop. People don't want perfectionism. You know, I could go back and look at my videos. Actually, that would be a great thing for me to do, is go back and pull up some of those videos. Just keep scrolling down my feed for 4, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, however long I've been doing this. It'll be some juicy stuff, I'm sure. Like, I am telling you, I was terrified. You know, I almost feel like these days, and this is going to sound weird, but I feel like these days I come in here naked because, okay, so I've evolved over time, but when I used to do Facebook Lives, so I had this notebook and I just have like scratch paper, literally scratch pieces of paper. Like I've kept them all because some people, some have been like taped together with a Band-Aid because I didn't have tape. And I'm like, oh, give me a Band-Aid. Seriously, so crazy. So I have a big old binder of Facebook Live video or stuff. And then over time, I've gotten a little classy, okay? So I love, this is not the 7. Let me do this. I was just pulling this out the other day. Okay, I love these notebooks. Okay, by the way, they're by Target. They're not by Target. You buy them at Target. What are they by? Let me show you the brand. I just bought me 2 new ones because I ran out. It's called Green Room. I don't know. I love the size. I love the chunkiness. I love this. Seriously. This girl loves her journals, okay? Anywho, so I started, and even though it looks a little crazy here, there's systems in my, there is, what I want to say, a system into the chaos. And it's funny. So, this was my old filing system. It's still effective. I just have to, look, I have like a reference on what it means. Anywho, but these pink tabs on top mean that I haven't, these are ideas that I haven't actually finished the Kema quote show. And at the bottom, when they become I talk about them, they then become, I have a date on them, okay? And the yellow ones on the side just means that I nailed it, and it was such a great conversation. And so anytime I get called on to TV, they're like, what's your topic? And I literally, there's my little hack. I go in, I'm like, I find one of the yellow teeth tabs. I'm like, oh, looks like we are going to talk about this new reality that doesn't exist. And it apparently was about driving my husband's truck. I'll look into what that story was. Anywho, oh, I know it is. Okay, yeah. Anywho, so, but nowadays, and I used to have to have these pretty spelled out in order to feel confident about coming out to Facebook. So at least I'd have strategy and taking a person to point A to point E, because I could just start talking and people be like, where are you at, Terry? And I'm like, I don't know. Where am I at? Okay. So the reason why I had to use these words to keep me, because now that's not happening. And I'm just chatting with you, talking with Terry. That's what it is. And so today I literally came home like, oh, I gotta, and so I'm like, okay, let's just do this. Like, this is real. This is raw. This is what's happening in my life. Right. And so I don't spend tons of time. I actually told Mary tonight, and I said, Mary, I don't even know what I'm going to talk about tonight. And she goes, well, it'll come to you. And if it doesn't, I'll text you some ideas. So thank you, Mary. I didn't require a text. Anywho, so the great news is this: you get to be real, you get to be authentic, and hallelujah, right? Hallelujah. And not only that, but if you have children, teens, tweens, young adults, what powerful message are you sending to that other incredible being, that it's all about being us. It's all about stepping into our power, not having it figured out, and it's okay. And here's the thing is that I've heard over the years from even my clients, is like, well, I'm just so afraid of their judgments. And a mentor of mine years and years ago said to me, and I said the same thing, right? And I just like, it's hard to hear criticism today. And even though it was done in the most loving way, it's hard to know when you're doing something not the greatest, right? But what she said to me is that, what if you could be an allowance of the judgment? Okay, seriously, I want you to write that down, because I think that's such a juiciness. What if you could be in allowance of the judgment? And what that means is just what happens is when we are afraid of a judgment, it's almost like we energetically put up a boundary, like, I'm going to protect myself at all costs. And a lot of times that protection comes for different forms and different ways for each of us. But when we put up that boundary of protection, it actually does the opposite of what we're trying to create. And it blocks us away from opportunities, energetics, like all of it. So, and she just said, what if I'm just an allowance of it? And so I'm not going to make everyone happy. There was a post just recently that on I believe it was Instagram that we posted about me getting pulled over, and it created some spicy conversations. And so there was a camp of going yes, 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 and there was a camp of going no, no, no. But it was so interesting. It was creating this conversation, right? And so I was allowing myself to be an allowance of being um, disagreed upon. I was being an allowance of just letting people to speak their opinion, have their opinion, because still in this country we do have this thing called free speech. And so allowing them to have their position, because guess what, for me, when I can see somebody else's position or other person's point of view, it oftentimes creates content for me because it's like, ooh, I hadn't seen that before. So I think that's the beauty of allowing ourselves to be an allowance of information. And if we don't take it on as a personal attack and be like, okay, like I'm just being an allowance of it. I'm not taking it on. I'm not putting my identity to that one crappy comment. I'm not taking on and saying, well, gosh, I wasn't perfect and I wasn't da da da. No, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Everyone's entitled, even if it's ludicrous. Like there was a post just recently that we had, and this person's opinion was just like I was like, where did they get that from this? And I'm like, you know what? You're gonna have those outliers, ever since school, and I never really understood the bell curve. Okay. I mean, but the bell curve has become more relevant in so many areas of my life, and it's all about the bell curve, right? There's 80% of the people in your right? And there's gonna be a 10% outlier over here and a 10% outlier over here, and it's all okay. Because guess what? Necessarily, your message is not necessarily designed for this 10% or for this 10% for that matter, okay? And so it's okay. So I always see the bell curve in that, and I'm like, boop, boop, oh, cancel, 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 cancel. That, you know what? It's okay. Moving on, right? And so I don't even take that as a personal attack anymore. I don't even take it as a personal whatever. But when we are standing in an authenticity, that is the deeper work that we get to do to stand in that power and to know that we can be in allowance of the judgment, and we're going to be still human, and we're still going to have a pulse, and we're going to be okay. And I just said this to Mary a couple, 3 weeks ago. I'll have to share that story of how I bombed a talk. Oh, heavens. I'm getting all, I'm like, I am clearly jewelizing, okay? I'm just saying, like, my earrings don't even want to stay in. But I bombed a talk, and I just told Mary, my response to it was like, next. I mean, I didn't like get hot and bothered by it. Like, I was just like, all right. Like, I haven't bombed a talk in forever. And so it's bound to happen, right? And I'm just like, peace out, right? And so, but when we are allowance of it, it just makes it easier, right? It just makes it easier, allows us to be in that alignment and truly trusting our inner self, the inner knowing that we have, and just staying the path, my friends, to that beautiful brilliance that you are bringing to this world. Yes or yes? Okay, my friends. Oh my gosh. Love, love, love. Thank you so much for joining us. And like I said, I wrote it down. I am going to commit, now that I spoke it out loud, I am going to have to keep myself accountable. So we are going to be doing we'll do probably 6 Facebook Lives per month to get me started on the guests. But if you have an extraordinary guest that would love to be either on the Talking with Terry TV, okay, they do need to be in Colorado or being willing to pay for their expenses to travel to Colorado. So let me know. We do have an incredible event. Mark your dates, September 23rd. I'll share more about that later, but mark your dates. We're going to be doing something pretty extraordinary that day. Okay, so keep that date in mind. It's an all-day Saturday, all-day event that we're putting together. And then keep me in mind if you have some incredible people that you know that you would love, or you yourself, okay? Sometimes it's easier for us to like nominate other people, but I'm just going to invite you that if you've been following me for a while, you're probably one of those people too, okay? I would invite you to private message me, reach out to me. I would love to hear your story. I'd love to hear what makes you tick, hearing more about your overcomer story, and just all of the juiciness. And maybe you will be the most appropriate fit for our lives here, our StreamYard lives. And here's the thing: if you feel the urge, it's probably you, okay? And if you're feeling the clutch, the resistance, it's probably you. I'm just saying. Okay? Because that's the time when it's like, should I? Should I not? Should I? Should I not? Yes, you absolutely should. So reach out to me. I'd love to connect with you further. Big love to all of you guys. As always, be bold, be brave, be fearless, be the magic of you. Massive love to all of you, and we'll see you next time.